Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. I hope everyone, I don't know if you did enjoy the two matches this morning for Manchester United. I'm sure there's going to be people with mixed reviews with the match today, or with the matches today. Yes, I said matches. We had the women's squad playing Villa, and then we had the Manchester United men's squad playing Spurs. So, as always, like, subscribe, follow, whether you're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Leave a comment. And thank you leave a comment, leave some feedback, and thank you to all those that have been subscribing, following, whether it's on the YouTube channel, Spotify, as well, or downloading through Apple Podcasts as well. Joining on social media, whether it's at Instagram, the Red Devils Corner Kick Pod, TikTok, the Red Devils Corner Kick Pod, or on X, the RD Corner Kick Pod. So, yes, we had two matches this morning. The women's squad fell to Aston Villa 1-0. The men's squad drawing against Spurs. The women's squad, I am going to be doing both today in the episode, so we'll be a little bit longer in terms of usual episodes, especially with post games, because we don't usually have we don't usually have an episode where both squads do play on the same day. I know last week I did post some of it on Tuesday's episode, and again with today having them play Villa and just half an hour before kickoff of the men's, it was kind of good to have. I was watching it both. I had my laptop out on one, and then I had my TV there, and we were watching both at the same time. But yes. So let's get to the women's squad today, or first. Today, yes, was their first loss. First loss in WSL. So we fell to them. Watching the game, there were some good things I did like. I will be doing, sorry, and just to do one more thing too, I will be doing more episodes toward the women's squad as I'm getting more familiar. Again, I will be getting more familiar with it and putting more dedication. So please, so episodes will come, especially with next week, Women's Champions League. Am I at the stage when I'm going to be what I do for the men's squad? No, but I am still going to do post-game reactions for them. And as the season goes on, I will start doing more episodes as well, especially with the international break next week. More episodes of the women's squad will be coming. But back to it. Yes, they fell today. First loss. They're still about 3 points back of Chelsea. Man City still have to go for their match as well, but United are going to be still sitting at third for right now from what I see from the table. And again, anything could change, but yes, they fell 1-0 today. They were doing good things in the game. Listen, Phelan did do some good saves. Obviously, we saw the goal. We saw Phelan make the save. Obviously, the defense couldn't clear that goal. But from what I saw here, the attack was there for the women's squad. We did do good things in the first half. You saw a lot of the attack going down the left-hand side. And then mostly in the second half, you saw a little bit of the going through the right. You saw a lot of it going through Jade Riviere. But in the end, they couldn't get capitalized and get a goal into the back of that. And Villa did defend well. In my opinion, and again, it just for how well the women's squad was been playing this season, it was going to happen that you have this type of game. And it's this type of game that you lose, it's kind of a refresh, a restart, a reminder that, hey, there's still work to be done. And you know what? If, again, the clearance, the D wasn't able, everyone wasn't able to clear that ball out. Villa did a good job getting the shot in. Whether there was an offside, I don't think there was an offside because when you saw it, you saw a Villa player on the ground and actually was rolling. You may have seen a tip there, but either way, it was a nice kick by the Villa player to get it in. But again, Man United, they were so clustered in there, they couldn't clear the ball out, and it led to that goal. But in the end, United still wasn't doing enough to get the attack as much as they had control. They were for a good chunk of the game they had, from what I saw, was control. But in the end, the women's squad wasn't doing enough. They weren't able to get the attack. Again, Villa's defense did enough to hold it off, They definitely got in the way. They definitely did good on blocking some shots, making Manchester United women's squad make the extra move. But you did see some struggles there in trying to get the ball into the back of the net, and you have to give Villa credit. Um, they played a very good Manchester United women's squad. They definitely, again, they took advantage of the one error that was there, and they got away with the win. And for the women's squad, we have a Champions League on Wednesday against Paris Saint-Germain. There will be a post-game episode after that, so I will be getting into that game. So next week, a couple additional episodes. Back Tuesday, the additional episode on Wednesday, as well as Thursday. Because again, it is international break, so I will be trying to play catch up, and then next Sunday or Saturday, yes, a week from today, they are playing Man City. So you have the Man City derby next week. So I will be watching that game as well and doing a post game too. So, but yes, in the end, again, tough loss again for the season that they've been having, the success in Champions League, the success of the start of the season for WSL for the women. They've had their. It is tough, but you're going to have to lose a game once in a while. And Chelsea is playing well. Again, Chelsea has been the best team. They did defeat Arsenal because they had a match going on at the same time this morning. That was on Sportsnet as well. But again, it is November. There are going to be losses. There are going to be multiple wins. There are going to be some draws. There are going to be some games that you're not going to like. And that's what we got today with the women's squad. But they're going to rebound. They have a tough challenge on Wednesday against Paris Saint-Germain, which, again, a new episode will be out for that, doing that post-game. And we will be doing more as well, especially with the international break, no men's squad. We'll give more time to dedicate to the women's squad and get myself more accolated, or is accolated the word to use, with the women's squad. I always have followed them with Manchester United, but for me to give the type of what I do with the men's squad, it will take some time, but I will get there, and I hope you do like it. Because again, this is about Manchester United. It's just not about the men's squad. It is about the women's squad as well. And yes, I know we have the U18s, the U21s, the U16s. We have a big youth academy and trying to get into that, I know. But it will take time, and that's all I'm going to be saying. So again, yes, the addition to the pod will be the women's squad. Well, I've been wanting to, but you will be having. I have mentioned the squad there multiple times on episodes, especially after the FA Cup loss last year, to them getting back into Champions League for the women's squad, the big wins for their first two Champions League games. I've talked about that, the win against Brighton. But again, for what I do with the men's squad when I started out, I will have those episodes. I will try to do something like what I do with the women's squad, but it will take some time because, again, it's building myself up. I know the squad, but for me to do the way I do with the men's squad will take time. So I do apologize for the wait and the time, but it is on the agenda. It will increase where it is just this podcast dedicating to both squads. So, but yes, again, tough loss again for the women's squad, but listen, we're going to get a loss eventually. It's not, hey, let's just go. Let's just go invincible and just, no, we have to lose. We're going to have to struggle. This is how we learn. This is how we get ourselves back and rebound and reset and go. And I'm looking forward to the Paris Saint-Germain matchup as well, and as well as the Manchester derby. So, within a week, you have some important games. Every game is important, no matter who the important's always going to be. But again, today, Villa got their opportunity, took advantage of it, and that's what led them to the 1-0 win. But to rate the overall game, I will give a rating to it. From what I saw, I would say overall, I would say I would give it a 6.7 today. I feel like there could have been more. And I'll know what, 6.5. I'll leave it there. 6.5. There were good things on the attack. Listen, the D did well as well, but it's just it was just an above average performance for me. This is just based off of what I've seen from what they did last week, what they did in Champions League, what they've done for the season. I would say this is not their best performance, but to me it was above average, but it just didn't seem like they, how do I word it correctly? It's just, yeah, today the luck, like, I shouldn't say luck. Today it wasn't theirs today. That's what I'll say. It's just, the loss is always, like, again, a loss is always a good thing. I'm not, like, again, it's bad because you don't get the points. It's good because you're learning something that you can help you improve for the next game. So, again, yes, it is tough to see them lose, but this is always an opportunity to learn, reset, get themselves back. We have PSG on Wednesday, and then we have Man City next week for the derby. So happy for it's 6.5. I'm giving the game, or giving the team the overall squad rating, but it is going to be, I'm going to start doing more player ratings and everything as well. And we'll get similar to what we do with the men's squad. So it's going to come. So again, but overall 6.5 for where they have played. I'll give them just above average. 6 usually, like a lot of people do 6 as the average. 6.5, I'll give that as the average as well. So yeah, again, episode, I'll be back Tuesday. Obviously talking all Manchester United, and then the post game Wednesday after PSG. I'll do that there and get everything ready to go. But yes, so we did have another game today. Let's not pretend that we had just, one game or whatever, and this is just the focus. We had multiple. It was a double header technically. Well, it was close to a double header with Manchester United. But let's get to Man United versus Spurs. Okay. Yes, today we drew against Spurs. And it all depends on how you feel about it. Listen, we've had an impressive run. Let's not take that away. And everyone's gonna have mixed feelings today. Like I said, mixed feelings about the women's game. A lot of people are gonna have mixed feelings today with the men's squad as well. Listen, it wasn't pretty today. We had, again, just similar to Nottingham Forest, we had the control. We had things go the wrong way. Again, Tell had a good shot. It was a good goal to draw it up at 1-1. I enjoyed the Embuemo header that we got in the first half. Things looked strong, just like they did in the first half against Nottingham Forest. Second half, well, it's always the tale of two cities, and this has always been the poster of Manchester United. Listen, everyone did struggle going into that second half, and things just fell apart. We did have some good things moving the ball, but it wasn't good enough. We had some Sesko, when he gets subbed on, had struggles trying to score. Sesko did get up getting hurt, and he was on when he got hurt. We had already used our sub, so we couldn't bring on another player. So that led to a goal after that. We had that struggle of an injury, and then obviously leading to the corner and Mateus Delet tying it, stealing a point back. So for Spurs looked like they were ready to win. We took the point back and we walk away with 1 point, which, yes, it helps. It does make it better that we got away with a point on the road. Also, remember too, when we're looking at this week, this streak of games, 3 games have been on the road. And of those 3 games, out of 9 points, we've walked away with 5. We beat Anfield, we drew at Nottingham Forest, and we drew at Tottenham. And yes, you can say that we should have won. And I'm not going to blame Amarim for the subs. you can't predict Sesko getting injured. It's what happened. Sesko should have been able to finish those shots, but from what I'm thinking too is whether it was on the Mount pass or when he got the tackle done on him, one of those is where he may have given himself a knock, and maybe that attempt when he got the tackle near the end that led him to leave, maybe that's what made the knock even worse. So we could have had that there. But for him, when he was starting, yes, he was getting the opportunities. I don't know what was happening, but we know he can score with his left foot, but I don't know he wasn't given the 1 and 2. The one thing too is when you're seeing the camera angles here and you see it the way it is, sometimes when you see the camera angle, you think the opportunity is there, but when you get it closer, there might be something, a miss or a ball he couldn't control. But the last 2 games, you've seen Sesko struggle with his hold up. Shouldn't say his hold up, but he has struggled with his touch and then trying to score. So we've seen that in the last 2 games, and hopefully he gets himself back to that. And having him injured is tough. The one thing that is good is part of his recovery is during the international break. So I'm sure he'll be assessed. I'm sure he'll be fine, but we'll know more. But in this instance here, this is we again, I won't talk about anything until we find out more about Sesko. So I'm going to leave it there. That is something for Tuesday's episode to talk about, whether we find out more information about the status of Benjamin Sesko. But overall, in the game, again, tale of 2 halves, to say the least. Again, happy with the goal. Nice touch by Ahmad, and we got it in, and boom, there it is. But yes, things just didn't work out well. The midfield looked like struggling. Bruno, Casemiro looks like they're always 2 steps behind. Obviously, Kobe Mainu wasn't there today, and so you couldn't sub him on to take off of Bruno. Jack Fletcher was there as an additional piece. And as you're watching the game, you see the struggle. But listen, our best player today, in my opinion, was Matthias de Ligt. Thought he played very well. Again, that first goal, it went off. He tried to defend it, get the block with his foot. Obviously, it took a piece of it. That's how it ended up in the net. Lemens was playing the ball where it was going to be, but obviously it happened there, and it happened on the second goal too. Playing the shot again, the deflection off Richarlison was, again, it was there. You're hoping for the offside, but looks like Ugarte got the push. So losing his balance, trying to get back to get the player offside was unfortunately how it happened. But, Semeny Lemens today was great. Lemens made 3 crucial saves today, which was fantastic. To say, it was fantastic. So he definitely prevented us from being, from even going farther down. And to say the one thing too is, and I'm going to say this, Lemens has been fantastic since he started, since the Sunderland game. I have been. Some goals you can say yes, but other goals you can say it's been tough. It has. But if this was a year ago, or even last season, the way it has, we go up 1-0, we're fine, we're control, and then obviously 1 goal there, Sesko gets injured, another goal. We would have been giving up more, I feel like. I feel like the mentality, the breakdown would have gone worse. And the fact is, we didn't let that happen. Even when we went down to 10 men, we still didn't let that happen. We got the corner near the end. You even saw Lemens come in, and you saw the header of Matthias de Ligt go in, and we drew it up. We drew it. Fine. We were able to battle through it. And we had some of those games last year, those moments. But having us consistently doing back-to-back, which is good, we and say what you will, we had to do it against Liverpool. Liverpool scored. We came back and we scored near the end, and Maguire helped us win the game. We had that happen there. Brighton, everything was working all phases. You had those 2 set pieces, the free kick and the corner that led to the 2 goals, but they sealed it. Even though we were up 1-0, we still sealed it with the goal from Mbeumo. So you're seeing that there. You're seeing consistency. You're seeing still resilience to still keep fighting, and that is the one thing we've always missed. And I'm sure people are going to look at the negatives of the game. And yes, there were negatives. Bruno wasn't the best. Casemiro, when you saw him in the second half, you saw him struggling to get to pieces. His legs did not seem the best. Him, Bruno, and the long balls were terrible. We have to solidify that midfield to get up there. Now, I felt Casemiro was a little bit better than Bruno. Listen, offensively, Bruno is great. He's fine, and there are times there when you're seeing him carrying the ball and moving it up. If that's what we've needed, that's what you need to have in that piece. It is just defensively. It's just like, I'm gonna attempt this, I'm gonna attempt that. You're seeing the struggle, and I don't know if, again, Amram sees something different than we are, and we're always going to be upset when Amram is not thinking like we are. We're always going to think that applies to every manager in sports. Every manager, every coach, everything in sports. If they're not doing the way we think it should be done, we're always going to think that the manager's doing something wrong. But the manager's seeing things differently at different times. Ugarte came in. He wasn't the best, but he did seem to struggle. Sesko, you saw him struggle a little bit, but at the same time too, we have these subs. But you need your striker to be in there because that's what he's there to do. And he had his opportunities, but it looks like he struggled to finish. Cunha looked tired, but you want to bring on Mount because Mount can play that position, and Mount did some decent jobs feeding the ball, especially in the right spots. Ahmad was great, and Buemo was good. Obviously, he was quiet in the second half, just the way the game was going. But you're also Dorgu, I thought, who played very well today. Shaw was okay. Delit, Maguire was all right. Obviously, the leg. So obviously, having Casemiro, Maguire, having them there is great for experience and leadership. But you're seeing the legs get there as well, which is a struggle. Would have liked to see Lenny Euro there, but obviously he went with a different lineup, and I'm not going to be mad about that. Again, he's there every day. He sees what he is, and he's obviously going to look at something that Tottenham does, and we're going to try and combat with that. So, but yeah, obviously with his squad today, that's the one thing I should have mentioned at the beginning. Went with Lamens, which is understandable. Maguire, Delit, and Shaw in the back three, which is almost basically like Liverpool. Dorgu instead of Dello, which we were all fine with. Bruno and Casemiro as always, and then Ahmad starting at the 10, Mazraoui starting in the wing back. It was his first start, Mazraoui. I didn't really jump for joy when I saw him. It was good to have him there, but I think maybe he could have come off the bench in a situational situation. I felt like Ahmad was there. But at the same time, too, Mount, who has been having injury concerns, you can't really start him. So I get it. Ahmad up to the 10. It did okay. The attack, you can tell that it was different from when if Mount was starting or so on and so forth. It definitely looked like the attack was quiet for a bit, but in the end, the first goal that we got from Mbuemo, or from Ahmad to Mbuemo, was great. The header that got in, Mbuemo has been consistent to say. Cunha, I don't know if he's tired, if there's a misstep or what's going on. He just doesn't look like he's there, but the physicality, the movement, it just looks like he's taking one or two steps back. But even from when we played Chelsea to Liverpool, it just looks like the last two games, I don't know if he's tired, he's just missed a step, but I think there's something going on there that looks like he was having a bit of a struggle in today's game. But hopefully, I know we have the international break. Hopefully he's not going to be there playing much. Hopefully he just gets some rest and just gets to himself healed up, ready to go. Because when we come back, we have Everton and we have Crystal Palace that we're facing when we get back. And we're at home when we get back, and then we're at Crystal Palace the week after. So again, today, and again, too, the last 5 games, even the last 4, when you look at it here, you've had 3 on the road and 1 at home. And again, let's take a look at this. We got 5 points from the road. We did. Should we have gotten wins against Forest and Tottenham today? Yes. But we're not always going to get what we want. Some people didn't even have us beating in Anfield. So let's take a look at the last 4. 3 road wins coming out with 5 points. Let's look at that. It may not have been the best way to do it, but it definitely was there. So let's, I know it's not the way you want it, but get the game out, regroup, reset, get yourself ready for Everton when we get back. Hopefully everyone's healed up. I know it's international break. I hope some players are just limited. And I hope, Casemiro, Cunha are just rested and get themselves ready. I know they're going to be there for Brazil. I know Delo, Bruno are going to be out for are going to be there for Portugal. Dorgu is going to be there for Denmark. Who else is there? Ahmad and Buemo are going to be out there for their representing country. Same with Mazraoui. Mateus de Ligt, I don't think has still been called up. Same with Joshua Zirkzee. So we're not going to lose them. Bayinder's probably going to go off to Turkey. And then who else is there? Shaw, obviously the English players from United haven't been called up. So yeah, but again, at the end of the day, we wish everyone would stay back and be there. Okay. All right. Player ratings. Let's get the player ratings ready. Maguire did leave with a little bit of a knock, but he did okay today. I'll give him a 6.2. Mateus de Ligt, 7.2. The header played very well defensively. But yeah, 7.2. Shaw, I'm going to give him a 6.4. I thought he played well today. I did. Cunha, 6 point, just average today. Just lost. It just doesn't. Seems like there's something there with him. Patrick Dorgu, I'm going to give him a 6.5. He did very well today. He did. Crosses can still be there, his awareness, but he did play very well, and having him on the left side was an improvement over Delo. Bruno, 5.8. The passing, the defensive side, it looks like he wasn't there. Casemiro, 6. Mazraoui, 6. Mbuemo, 6.8. Ahmad, 7.1. And Semi Lamens, 7.7. I thought he was great today again with the shots. Subs, obviously limited time, but Euro when he came in, to me, I'm going to go with a 6.5. Ugarte, 5.5. Sesko, 5. Again, the shots. Obviously, losing him to injury. I'm not giving him this rating because of the injury. It's just looks like just trying to score. He did some good things, but it wasn't enough there to warrant that. But again, when he had the ball and the opportunities, he definitely did show some struggling. Delo, 5.5. Mason Mount, 6.3. He had some good feeds. Mason Mount, again, just above average. Yeah. So, yeah, in the end, it was a good performance. But we definitely had we definitely had some. It wasn't our best, just to say the least. But again, getting the draw. Again, let's just remember this: we had 3 road games since the last international break. We came back with 5, and listen, we would all love 9. That would be great, but we got 3 we got a road victory and 2 draws. I'm sure statisticians are not going to be thrilled by that, but realistically, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with coming out with those points. Listen, it's better than coming out with 3 points from 3 road trips. Overall, we got 8 points from 12 from our games. Yeah, 2 wins, 2 draws, 8 points from 12. 8 points out of 4 games. Again, getting that 5 from 3 road is actually crucial. It is. Like, let's remember that we got these on the road. We should we have gotten wins? Yes. Should we have won today? Yeah. Is it on Ruben? Actually, I forgot to give Ruben his rankings. Amram, 6. I'll just say 6. Everyone's going to be upset with the subs. Listen, last week he only made 2 subs. This week he made these subs. And when we did Brighton the week before, people said, oh, he made too many subs. So, listen, yeah, like he does one thing one week, then he brings on enough this week, and so on and so forth. Listen, at the end of the day, he sees something that he believes. We're always going to see something differently. We always do. It's always going to be different against the manager. Sometimes we'll be on the same page. Sometimes we won't. But to me, I thought Casemiro should have been subbed off today. I know Bruno won't be subbed off. There wasn't really someone there to replace him today, even with, well, I'm sure if Manu was there, I'm sure Manu probably could have, but depending on how the game is going, you're going to look at that. But I felt Casemiro should have been subbed. Dorgu had to be subbed because of the yellow, so you had to look at that. Sesko, you want to get your striker in, because again, when Lamens is doing those long balls, it's hard to, because you didn't see the reach there. You didn't see like the height. That's an advantage, and nothing to Mbeumo. Cunha has height, but Delo and Mbeumo do not have the height that Sesko has, and you want that striker there. And when he does use the height, it is good for the transition and the hold up. So you wanted to get him in there to get the attack and get things moving. Just Lamens just didn't. It was there, and it's a tough break when you see that knock. It's tough when you see him get injured and he's not back, or he can't continue on. So losing that out, and Ruben doesn't know that's going to happen. It doesn't. But who else does he have for subs, ladies and gentlemen? Let's not talk about, like, he's got Elliot Anderson, Baliba, Wharton. If you look at other players, Yulman, from Sporting, or like he doesn't have that. He doesn't have Odegaard, Rice. He doesn't have players that can come off the bench to replace what's starting. So go ahead, be pissed that he's bringing on Ugarte. Who else is he going to bring on? Be upset that he couldn't take off Bruno, or that he didn't take off Bruno. But who is he going to put on there to be Bruno, to be that captain, the general that can move the ball and all that? Having Manu not there, definitely, he could have been that sub on to take on for Bruno. I think that's why, because again, he didn't have Manu there, and no offense to Jack Fletcher, but you have to look at there. But if you go with Casemiro and Ugarte, you're still missing a piece of a player that can move the transition ball, in which, again, we're only up 1-0, but you're going to try and solidify it defensively. But if we have to carry a ball through the middle, Ugarte can't do it, and Casemiro doesn't have the legs. And Casemiro, when he gets the ball, he'll take 2 steps and just kick it long. So, unfortunately, that probably wouldn't have worked out either. So, I think not having Manu today is the reason why Bruno wasn't taken off. Again, Mazraoui wasn't wowing. He did some decent things, but offensively wise, you definitely didn't see much there. Bringing on Mount, you did see some changes. You saw the ball fed. You saw that there. Can't predict the Sesko injury. Yes, and we didn't give up more. Again, we went down 2-1. Sometimes it would have been more. We would have struggled trying to get it back and forcing it. But we got the win. We closed it out. We didn't get the win, but we got the draw. We got the goal back, and here we are. So look at it as you will. But in the last 4 games, we got 8 out of 12 points. Three trips on the road. We came out with 5. I know the last 2 games we should have gotten wins, but I'll take the 2 points from the 2 games on the road rather than coming back from nothing. Because again, yes, maybe those wins would help us improve for down the road. But today is November. We have games where we're going to be playing those guys. So again, remember, Tottenham, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, we're playing them at home the next time too. So that's there. So again, we got the win at Anfield. But we want to win at home. We want to win against Forest at home, and we want to win against Tottenham at home in our environment with our crowd and with our, that's key. We're playing City at home too, and we'll be playing City at home as well. So you're going to have that game there too. So it's a matter of, like it does help. But yeah. But yes, overall, against the international break, we'll be back in a couple weeks against Everton. So that's going to be key, to say the least. So having everyone healthy would be great as well, especially game players back from the international break. But again, if Sesko's not ready to go, Xerxes is going to get his opportunities to get his time to get ready to be there. Like, he's going to get his time. So you'll see him get his minutes, get himself back. Hopefully Mainu is healthy, because again, Mainu didn't play today because of injury. Sesko's out now with an injury. Maguire's going to have a knock. So you got 3 players. Hopefully Mainu in the international break gets himself fit. Maguire with rest. So those are 3 players there. We're going to potentially lose, but hopefully Mainu is ready to go as well. So yeah, in Mazraoui, Mount, they should be more fit as the game goes on, as the weeks goes on too. But we'll see. So yeah. I'll be back. So yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll be back Wednesday. Not Wednesday, Tuesday, with an episode. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week with episodes. Maybe I'll try and fit one in. Oh, I will be doing one on Saturday too, because the women are playing on Saturday against Man City. So 4 episodes potentially next week. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, back Wednesday. Men aren't back until November 24th against Everton. Women do play PSG on Wednesday, November 12th. So I will be back for November the 11th, the 12th, and Thursday, the 13th, and then the 15th post game after that. Yeah, so post game against PSG and post game against City. So you'll have couple episodes next week, couple big episodes next week. So keep an eye out for that as well. So again, just a reminder, you can follow on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify as well, Instagram, TikTok, X. You can look for the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. One thing too, thank you to all those again who have subscribed, follow the podcast. Thank you to all those who have given comments on posts. Thank you to all the likes as well. So thank you for all those who have been helping out with this channel. So again, thank you very much to all those who have subscribed. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.